Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Whatever your time zone, welcome. This is AI Talk, and I am your host, Kevin Crane. Welcome to the show. Today, we will be discussing the topic of leveraging AI in retail. As the retail landscape evolves and customer expectations change, leveraging AI is no longer optional. It's essential. As a result, according to a recent Honeywell survey, over 80% of retailers plan to increase their use of automation and AI across operations in 2025, with 35% of major retailers planning significant investments. So the question becomes, what strategies and techniques should you use? So today we'll dive into three crucial areas to consider. First, we'll discuss how retailers can enhance the customer experience through AI-powered personalization that anticipates and meets individual needs. Then we'll explore ways of achieving a seamless omni-channel journey, strategies for integrating AI to create a smooth, connected experience across all customer channels. And finally, we'll take a look at how AI agents and other AI-driven tools are transforming and empowering retail business operations behind the scenes. By the end of the session, I hope you'll have some actionable insights on harnessing AI for meaningful improvement in your organization. Now, we're going to dive in here in just a moment, but first I want to say thank you to everyone attending today, and that includes the folks that are joining us live on LinkedIn. Hello, everyone. And hello, everyone joining us today on Zoom. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. During today's discussion, I'd like to hear from you too, so I'd like to encourage everyone attending today to participate. Join in with your comments in the chat section, and if you have a question or comment along the way, just jump on in. I will attempt to get some of your questions and comments into the flow of the show, and we may have a few minutes also at the end for your questions. All right, well, let's jump in with a great panel of guests today, starting with Kelly Xu, Senior Industry Marketing Manager at Glean. Kelly, are you with us?
Yes. Hi, Kevin. Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Hello, Kelly. It's great to see you. Where are you calling in from today, Kelly?
Based in the Bay Area.
The Bay Area, wonderful. I love the Bay Area. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for being with us today, Kelly. Also joining us today is Lily Zhang, VP and Head of Engineering at Instacart. Lily, are you with us today?
Yes, I'm dialing in from Shanghai.
Shanghai, very good. Well, welcome aboard, Lily. It's great to have you with us today, too. And joining us once again on the show is Martin Miller. Martin is ex-director of AI and machine learning production operations at Levi Strauss. Martin, welcome aboard. Where are you calling in from today?
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Lily. Kelly and Lily, sorry. I'm calling in from the San Francisco Bay Area, also on the east side in Pleasanton, California.
Wonderful. Thank you, Martin, for being with us. And hello, everyone. It's going to be a great discussion today. I'd like to start our discussion off today by pointing our attention to an article published recently by the Wall Street Journal that talks about how Walmart is preparing for a future where AI shopping agents or automated digital assistants make purchases on behalf of consumers. More and more retailers are adopting bots, and indeed, Walmart is developing its own AI assistant to help customers with tasks like buying groceries or planning parties. The company is also working on ways to support third-party bots by exploring protocols for bot to retailer interactions. All of this is signaling a major shift in how online shopping may soon operate. I'm curious from the panel today what your thoughts are on this article and the movement from Walmart. Kelly, what do you think about the article and what do you feel are the implications for other retailers?
Yeah, I feel like Walmart is definitely much ahead than sort of an average retailer in their thinking. So sort of meaning they sort of really thought through the pros and cons about the AI shopping agent and how they just most importantly behave differently from us who might react to like big ads or like certain discounts. Like we're more like emotional compared to an AI agent. So I like their approach to it, sort of looking beyond technology, but really thinking about like human psychology, like consumer behavior, and how people will behave differently than to drive how they react to this new technology.
And Lily, what are your thoughts on the article and what do you feel the implications are for consumers?
I think in terms of AI, there's a general trend starting from human to human interactions, then we are now in the era of human to AI agent interaction. I think there will be a further trend will show up in the next like 1-2 years with agent to agent interactions, embarking on a journey to exploring the user experience in an agent centric way, and not only just thinking about the technology, but building it around the use cases, a party, right, a birthday gift, center the real agent and interactions on real user circumstances, and then use cases will be the key to success. And I am really bullish on this direction, actually.
And Martin, what are your thoughts on the article, and how do you think this will influence other industries?
Yeah. So Kevin, I'm fortunate to have had Walmart in my portfolio as a customer. So they're high on the lean quality standards. So if they're implementing now, which is the strong signal, that means they've vetted out some of the issues, looked for where the gains are, and can see measurable results. It's no question that Walmart will actually be successful in this place. I don't think we're going to go bot to bot communication for purchasing on my behalf, I hope, because I don't know if I need toiletries or toothpaste today, but my bot may if they has inventory, but I'm not sure we're going to get there too soon, but at least they can have personalization nailed and understand my past history.
Well, Walmart certainly is a bellwether of retail, and so it'll be interesting to see how this develops over the coming months. The article is from the Wall Street Journal. There is a link here in the chat feature. Everyone attending today, please take a look at the article and tell us what you think. Is it missing anything important? Is this sounding familiar in your organization? What are your thoughts about this news from Walmart? But it's interesting. It should be interesting to see where we're headed in the next coming months and year or so. All right, folks, let's move into the body of our discussion today, starting with our first discussion point for our session today, where retailers can enhance customer experience with AI-powered personalization. A 2024 study found that 61% of consumers are willing to spend more for personalized experiences, yet only 26% reporting high levels of personalization during their interactions. Kelly, I'm curious about Glean. How can an AI-driven search and knowledge discovery platforms like Glean help retailers deliver more personalized customer experiences?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think what I've experienced working with retailers is there's actually a lot of inertia like beyond the initial pilot. So everyone knows that personalization is important. They've like tried out different things, but they may not put in the hands of everyday shoppers. So you and I may not like experience all the great technologies out there, because you will never know how good the technology is until you really put it in front of your shoppers. And everyone's shopper like segment behavior is different, depends on what products or merchandise you're selling. So you will never know unless like a tool worked really well for your direct competitor, and then you really set it up in the correct way with the right data. You will just never know how well it works. And then sometimes beyond the initial pilot, just like inertia or like an effective change management sometimes can be what I see almost like a hidden hurdle for people really roll out at scale. So I would say almost like a confidence or like a jump, like a leap of faith to actually operationalize this and effectively do the internal change management. That also means you need to change people's KPIs or like metrics, how you like evaluate effectiveness of a campaign or like people's goals and your quarterly planning. Like there's a lot more to it to roll out personalization at scale. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of retailers actually stop, sort of just sit at like the pilot stage and before rolling something out broadly.
Well, that's an important point. You mentioned change and KPIs and
Mhm.
measurements, and uh, we've noticed here on this show that 70% of digital transformation initiatives fail to meet their mark. Many times it's because of change management or organizational factors. What are some of the real challenges that you see retailers facing when implementing AI personalization, and how can they overcome those?
Yeah, I think the big one is the data silos. Like they don't have access to all their enterprise data. Like a lot of them, maybe on the e-commerce arm or some of the D2C brands, they have their data like digital native and on the cloud from day one. But a lot of brick and mortar retailers, a lot of their data is still on-prem. It can be messy, and they don't have full visibility in to all of their data. So because of that, right, they can do like personalization at scale, or they just can operationalize something very easily if they know like they can't fully trust their data, or they don't have access to all the data, or it takes a long time to get because it sits with like a BI team, but the merchandiser or the buyers may not have that information readily available.
Now, Lily, tell us a little bit about Instacart. How does Instacart leverage AI to personalize the grocery shopping experience for your customers? And what are some of the factors that we should consider from your experience?
Yeah. So I work in Caper. Caper builds contextual shopping experience using a physical shopping cart. Imagine you're in a shopping in a grocery store. The cart actually go with you, knowing where you go and who you are and what your shopping habits has been, and then what did you pick up and what you drop off. Right? Like so, we can provide the maximum personalization within the context and knowing the user within you. So that's how we innovate through a physical AI experience in the retail space. And then through that, we empower the users to have their favorite products. We also empower the brands to make advertisement on the cards. And we also help the retailers to lift their basket and meet the needs of the individual consumers really well.
Now, Lily, you're head of engineering at Instacart. I'm curious, what role does engineering play in all of this in ensuring AI personalization is scalable and responsive?
That's a fantastic question. Engineering is the bread and butter of AI technology evolution. First of all, engineering of and personalization has never been as easy as now. In the past, you have when you want to when you want to personalize an experience, you have to have a lot of data, and then the volume of data is like 100 times compared to when we have generated AI and LLMs is like only 1%, and that experience was so much enhanced, and then it's so much easier to build. Second piece is I want to echo what Kelly mentioned. Achieving that is not very easy because the data was stored and manipulated in a very traditional way. And data silo is widespread. So being able to tie the data from online and offline together and making sense of the data and simultaneously creating that in the moment experience is not 1 hour later, is not 10 minutes later, is in the seconds when you are shopping in the aisle making decisions is very difficult. So sustainability and then latency and then data management so that we are AI ready is getting more and more top of mind for a lot of the engineering leaders.
Now, Martin, at Levi's, and you formerly with Levi's, you've moved on and you're working with companies of all kinds. How have you seen AI and ML models tailor product recommendations and improve customer engagement?
Yeah. Let me separate what we call AI today, and I'm going to call it more augmented intelligence versus artificial. Please. And then I'm going to separate machine learning. 5 years ago in the machine learning side, we would use basically pure math to figure out where we're going to go with this and grade based on some math equations. Today, we can actually use the language and prompt it, curve the prompt, tailor the data that's behind the prompt, and give a delivery that is more personalized, feels like psychic powers almost if you have some persona information. And you can actually do things that are a little more interesting for recommendations. You can give recommendations that are relative to past experience or potential of where a consumer may be going or where they're trying to purchase something. Think about some areas where the AI today is easier to implement and maybe help reduce returns and regret-free buying. And so the personalization on top of that could be a win-win for all.
So how do we balance AI personalization with things like customer privacy concerns in a retail environment?
Great question. So your persona can be micro-managed from the perspective of a very tight categorization. Instead of considering like a soccer mom and a weekend warrior as a persona, you could actually go some shades of gray in between those and see the past experience. It's just a number associated with that ID that has done these purchasing. It doesn't have to be your name. It doesn't have to be your gender, your sex, any of that kind of information. We can just lean towards what we can do. And as long as we stay in the areas of safety and compliance and regulatory, we have a lot of options on the table to be able to deliver information to the consumer.
All right, folks, I want to move on to our next discussion point, but I'd like to ask this question to the entire group, so I'll open it up to everyone. But I guess my question is this: a few years ago, it was maybe unusual. It was unusual to have some sort of bot or some sort of AI-driven function when interacting with a company, certainly in a retail or an online environment. But now it's more and more common. What are your thoughts on customer sentiment about this? I personally like an AI bot. I almost prefer it. My wife hates it. So I'm curious what everyone's experience has been with actual customers. Are customers really ready to embrace this, or is there still some resistance to change? Anyone, what are your thoughts?
I can start. I feel like there's twofold. I think when AI or the bot idea like first came about, I think most of us had a bad experience with like the older generation of bots. So a lot of consumers are like resistant, just feel like the bots are not giving them what they want. And then I, at least personally, always be like, talk to agent. I need to talk to an agent. But then I think as people get more familiar, like in my day-to-day using like a ChatGPT or Cloud, like people have seen what like the AI chat assistant can do for them. So a lot of them are actually more open to like a LLM powered chat assistant. So they kind of understand, oh, this is different from the old generation of bots. And then because of that, they're using it for their personal use and they're becoming more open to like a Gen AI assistant as a result of it. But a lot of it's from their using Gen AI elsewhere. And then they're like, oh, I want to use this for work. Maybe I want to use this for shopping and other things potentially in the future, like booking airline tickets and tasks like that, as they interacting with like a ChatGPT and see the potential of what else it can do for them.
All right, very good. We are here today with Kelly Xu, Senior Industry Marketing Manager at Glean, also Lily Zhang, VP and Head of Engineering at Instacart, and Martin Miller, Ex-Director of AI and Machine Learning Production Operations at Levi Strauss. We've been here talking about leveraging AI in retail. If you have a question or a comment for our group, please feel free to enter that into the chat feature. We will get those into the flow of the show here. All right, folks, let's move on to our second discussion point, and that is achieving seamless omni-channel customer experience across every customer touch point. According to Deloitte, 37% of consumers are more likely to spend more money with brands that offer consistent and positive experiences across all channels, highlighting the importance of these strategies. Lily, how can AI-powered platforms integrate data? As you mentioned, data is so critically important across these multiple channels to create a unified customer journey.
I'll start from it's very difficult. Because online grocery is very it's everywhere. It's already digitalized. We know where do you click, what do you select, and what do you usually buy. But I think the next round of golden nuggets actually is in the store, where people have a real experience in the store interacting with human beings, and also the products and the touch. The touch of an orange is very different from seeing an image of an orange. So I think the digitizing the in-store experience and in-store surroundings and products, and then connecting the dots between the two sides of the business to complete the whole picture will empower the omni-channel experience. Because oftentimes we have the data loop broke when you go into the store, and then you connect back again when you go back online. So I would say this is the first part of it. The second part of it is when users are using different products online or offline, they have different use cases. And then targeting the same use case to the same user in different circumstances is fundamentally the opposite of how we use different products and generate value in our life. So if you want to use omni-channel experience, when you know how the user behave online, when they're offline, start inferring what they can be, where they are, and then what they can be doing today through their data you have already collected, and then generate real value from there. And then when you generate another value, tie it back into online. That will work much better than just pushing the user, hey, you need to go buy this, buy this, buy this everywhere. I think the value will drive more usage and more traction.
And Lily, we've been talking a lot about the customer experience, but I imagine, especially at Instacart, but really, I imagine logistics is a big challenge. What are some strategies, AI-driven strategies that can help manage real-time logistics challenges while also maintaining customer satisfaction?
In Instacart, AI is everywhere. This is coming from our CEO. Starting from, like you mentioned, logistics. When the user order a specific items, and then there has to be a shopper showing up and then going to the store and purchasing this order. So the matching algorithm was created using AI to be more localized and more efficient. And then there will be better font rate. There will be faster deliveries. And then this is like just one side of it. The second part is we know more about your preference, right? Instead of using rules to figure machine learning models to figure out who you are, what's your dietary preferences. AI can infer it using one two selections in the shopping journey and knowing what do you want to buy next. Right? This is the second thing. And operationally, internally, there is a lot of use cases for teams to be more effective. For example, when the call center receive a call, a user want to have a refund of a specific item. And then we have an automatic flow internally built using AI to help users automatically make those transitions and make those changes instead of having to rely on a call center agent and waiting in line for that response. It's literally everywhere in Instacart. I forgot to mention, we also use Glean in our internal tooling because it solves one of the problems we have generally when you have a lot of data, a lot of document, a lot of web pages, but having the data is not not give you doesn't generate value immediately, but having access to the right data at the right time really matters to us. So, and that helps.
Now, Kelly, when it comes to customer experience, there's a lot of, we're concerned about a seamless experience across the entire journey. This sounds great, but how do you do it? What key innovations do you see as key enablers for this kind of seamless omni-channel experience?
Yeah, I think especially for retailers, I think obviously customer service, customer support has like bubbled up as like a key use case. They can really put AI tools in front of the associates. And a lot of opportunities for like specialty retailers as well as luxury retailers, both online and in store, to really turn them beyond like call center or beyond just like helping with warranties or returns or like reset someone's password. They can really also become sales associates with AI powered and help customers sort of with that customer 360 view. So say like my washer is broken, it's like 10 years old. Normally I would just like go to the customer service and maybe try to get it fixed. But maybe they now know me and now know what about the washer, and they can be like, oh, a 10-year-old washer is not worth saving anymore. You should just consider buying a new washer. And how we actually have this promotion going on, it's like a washer dryer set, you get like 20% off or something. Like historically, customer service associates are not able to do that kind of sales activities because they don't have that information at their fingertips. But with Glean, right, they can like quickly sort of pull up my information, like quickly pull up the relevant promotions they have going on, or like become product experts really quickly because like Glean can like recommend them, be like, oh, how about you recommend this bundle to the customer or that package to the customer? And then they can certainly like bring that to me at the moment when I need the most help, and I'm actively reaching out to them engaging with them, that's also the best moment for them to give me sort of the best recommendations. So I feel like there's a lot of potential for like customer service associates to use AI to like augment their work with just all the information at their fingertips, not just like the document itself, but really like give them the TLDR on like, here's the 3 things you can do with this customer and things you should recommend, and maybe the highlight of a particular product, and really like personalization at scale, and not expecting the associate to know everything on top of their mind, but really they can just like quickly pull up the information, recommend it to them. So I see a lot of potential in that use case, really turning them into also sales associates in the meantime.
These seem like certainly fundamental improvements in process, and I'm curious how retailers can actually measure the ROI of their investments and efforts, especially in customer service experience improvements. Can you tell us more about your
Yeah.
recommendations for calculating an ROI?
Yeah, that's why I think taking a step back, I would say like change management is key, right? Because historically, the associates are measured by maybe tickets resolved, like how many tickets resolved within a particular time, and then they tier the tickets based on complexity of the tasks. But now, if you're turning them into sales associates, obviously there will be revenue target, but balanced it with like the ticket resolution goals as well. So you need to kind of really see the KPIs very differently, and then what would be the optimal KPI for one retailer will be different for like another retailer based on just the products they're selling, or it's like services and whatnot. So you almost like won't really know until you try it out, put it in the hands of maybe dozens associate and test it out in the market. And that's very unsettling for a lot of retailers, because it's almost like just uncharted waters. They don't know what's the right KPI, what to evaluate, and it's really uncomfortable for people. And as a result, we see a lot of inertia because of that, because they don't know what to expect. It's uncertain what the KPI or the budget would look like, how it will perform. And then they are like, oh, do a pilot. And then they're hesitant to roll it out because of that. Yeah.
Now, Martin, I'm curious. Some retailers are all digital, some are all physical, some are both. How can retailers integrate AI across both digital and physical stores to maintain this kind of seamless customer experience?
Right. So it's very common that you, at the cash register, you're asked to, to enter your phone number or something of that nature that identifies you to your account. And that is super helpful. And there's often kiosks in stores that allow you to do that too. So that's where you can bridge physical and virtual shopping experiences and concierge service to that. And also, you can promote coupons at the right time, like someone's at the register and they've entered their ID, their phone number to basically be in the kiosk, and it's going, okay, Martin, here, you bought these pants last week. Would you be interested in a jacket that matches that? And here's a coupon for 5% off or 100% off, for your affinity. So this is where it can come into play as more of a concierge bot and not be too invasive, because it is linked to your channel with your purchase history.
Yeah, I like the idea of a concierge bot, but a lot of people are really concerned about their privacy, and we have this question coming in from Esme from our attendees today. Esme, I recognize your name. Thank you for being back, and thank you for your question today. Esme asks, how do you balance personalization with privacy? Are customers becoming more cautious about their data and how it's being used to drive these AI recommendations? I'll open it up to the group. Anyone have some thoughts for Esme on this? Martin, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you, Kevin. So it's a valid concern, and I would be very cautious of putting all my personal information, knowing I have 4 kids, which the picture behind me, if you could see it, shows. But the information that you often work online with is enabled by you not reading the fine print and clicking check and moving on, and you forget about that, and then the change of terms and conditions. But regulatory practices and requirements, state to state, governmental agency to governmental agency, and country to country, dictate that you aren't to sell certain information. You're not supposed to transport information across certain boundaries. So those are critical lines that you don't cross. And if you opt out for selling my information, I don't want my information sold. I don't think anybody does, but that is a business in itself, is reselling people's information. So it should be transparent to users that they can opt out. It should be transparent to users that their personalization may be shut down if they choose not to have it. I mean, that should be a choice for the consumer.
And Lily, what about personalization and AI privacy at Instacart? What are your thoughts and approaches there?
First of all, Instacart and Caper are fully compliant with all the regulatory requirements. I think fundamentally, number one is for consumers, respect and then having a choice is the most important. Either they want to be part of this program or they want to opt out, and together with all the data has been used is very, very important, I think. The second piece is, I think this is for enterprise businesses. When you have a lot of data across a lot of customers, data isolation is very important for the businesses, because oftentimes one business don't want to share their data, or even in any sort of AI bot creation, AI agent optimization with the other big customer, because they value their data assets, and then we value their data assets as part of that as well. So that's another piece. The third piece is we can achieve a lot of the results with the current technology without a lot of data, without uniquely knowing an individual. So just like Martin said earlier, the unique identifier can be created and then can be obfuscated. And then what matters is a certain behaviors that's associated with a group of people, and we can infer a lot more value already from those data. And that requires a lot of the businesses to be respectful and then being conservative at times when exploring those data and then exploring the use cases. I think it takes the whole ecosystem to make it really, really a wonderful user experience and a huge consumer value, at the same time protecting their privacy along the way.
And Kelly, how does Glean approach this? Glean is a very comprehensive AI platform. How do you approach the need for hyper-personalization and customer experience with the need to be more cautious about customer data and the perception that customers and the society at large even has about this type of methodology?
Yeah, so a few things is first, we're single tenant. So when we work with our customers, like a retailer, their data are not mixed with other retailers' data for sure. And also when we connect to like a customer's existing SaaS tools, we actually respect existing permissions. So you can only see data that you have access to. So say if I ask Glean a question, like how's our sales doing in this region for this quarter, the data I get or information I get might be different from you, because we have different level of access to the company's data. So Glean respects all the existing permissionings that like the companies have already set for their employees, to make sure like everything you're seeing is like only what you have access to.
Very good. We are here today with Kelly Xu from Glean, Lily Zhang from Instacart, and Martin Miller. We're here talking about leveraging AI in retail. And Esme, thank you so much for your comment today. I really appreciate your participation and being with us again today. Folks, if you have a question or a comment for our group, please pop it into the chat feature and we'll see if we can get it into the flow of our discussion. All right, very good. Let's move on, folks, to our third discussion point today, and that is transforming and empowering retail business operations with AI agents and other AI-driven tools. A report by Demand Sage indicates that 95% of customer interactions are expected to be powered by AI this year, underscoring the transformative impact of AI in operations. Kelly, first of all, wow, 95% powered by AI this year. Is that overinflated? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how they come up with the data. Maybe they potentially like combined Gen AI as well as the traditional AI ML. Then
Okay.
I think that's like very reasonable number. But would need to know the details on how they calculate this. But I think for certain segments like e-commerce, a lot of like a company like Instacart, quick commerce, a lot of the digital native companies, that's certainly achievable.
to me, it's all about, gets down to friction, which is an old
Mhm.
factor that we've considered for
Mhm.
years, but it's really reducing friction and kind of greasing the way for that purchase. Kelly, how does Glean use AI to reduce friction? And what are some of the implications to your customers and the impact to their organizations?
Yeah, so since Glean like connect all your enterprise knowledge and the existing like tools, SaaS tools you're working with, or like your email, your Drive, your Slack messages, like it can easily pull up the relevant information, and then everything is indexed via Glean search. So it really has the enterprise context of who you are with a personalized knowledge graph just for you. Like someone say in marketing searching for PR usually means press release versus in engineering PR means pull request. And they will know like what role you're in that's like highly personalized and give you the most relevant information for you. So that's why like at Glean, I'm seeing like a lot of retailers like Etsy, they're using us, like saved a ton of time when it comes to like employee onboarding, whether to Etsy as a company or onboarded to a new project or a new team. They can really like quickly get up to speed based on the context they already have. And then a lot of specialty retailers use this as tool for their engineering arm or e-commerce arm, like the engineers can use Glean to quickly help with like debugging, a lot of answer a lot of the questions that might come up with like particular bugs or getting up to speed on a particular project. So that has been great in terms of just really break down the information silos and then help people work faster and really accelerate a lot of the productivity or onboarding process. And then sometimes companies try to build something themselves and then realize it's too hard to maintain. And then Glean can really take care of like the permissionings, like connecting to all their SaaS tools in the back end and really help retailers focus on what they
Mm.
do best on the shopping experience.
Now, Lily, I asked you about logistics earlier. I'm curious now about how you approach demand forecasting. How is AI transforming Instacart's operational process with respect to demand forecasting?
On the demand part, is actually multifaceted. We have demand from different channels. We also have demand from different use cases, different times. We use big data and AI to understand what are the general trends. And I'll give an example. You could use search terms online to understand what the upcoming trends in the demand, and I use that data to empower retailers to stock the same products a lot more so that it can meet customer demand in a much faster way. So I think with AI, you can do much nuanced optimization compared to broad stroke in the past. This quarter, we believe there's a holiday that coming along. We need to stock turkey much more. So with nuanced information and nuanced optimization, we can predict demand much more locally and much more timely. So the other thing I want to mention is very interesting. Like Kevin, you mentioned the friction, right? So I think in the real consumer space, people actually don't care about are you AI or not. They
Really?
just care about if their experience is better or not. Right? Is it do they save more money? Do they feel the experience is much better shopping in the store versus the other? Do they meet the needs of their dietary preferences? So I sort of think often when we design our shopping carts, right? We want to hide the feeling of high tech and AI and away from the user so that they only feel the benefits of what AI empowers instead of slapping a technology in front of our face and say, "Hey, use me as a bot, use me as an AI technology." And people sometimes are afraid when it's too high tech in a consumer space.
Well, that's a great point. It should be hidden under the hood, if you will. And Martin, do you feel that that is an important factor that should be considered as retailers move forward in 2025 and beyond? And how can we make it more transparent?
Yeah. So if we talk just, from the internal operational perspective and how the tooling has helped empower retail business, I mean, these agentic solutions, let's just talk in pure economics. The agentic solutions we can create, they're teammates who never ask for a raise. Think about that, Kevin. And that's the part that people get upset about, losing jobs and job reduction and job loss. But you have to look at the other side of the equation, which is the consumer experience and improving the consumer experience. So these elements are really critical. And then using data to make decisions and making it objective. You can higher efficiency and leading into KPIs and dashboards. And you can think about in a traditional brick and mortar that has an online presence, you can imagine those kind of environments have dashboards for all different modalities of things that they're going to measure, look at, and the traditional dashboard creation mechanism can now be optimized using agentic. So you can get closer to real-time decisions. There's a lot of optimization and cost benefit. I'm just talking purely from a business perspective. I'm going to step back and not call it artificial. I'm going to call it augmented intelligence and help you deliver results. And the end game here, Kevin, is we're trying to improve the consumer experience. We want to make the consumer concierge service there. And from the operational internal perspective, we want to turn down the churn of employee training and employee optimization. So we want to empower, not replace necessarily.
Well, Lily, Kelly, Martin, it has been a great discussion today. We're almost out of time, but before I let you go, I'm wondering if each of you could please provide us with one quick action item that our viewers can use to take advantage of your ideas and advice today. Martin, do you have an action item for us?
Sure. I mean, I'm out there, Kevin, with I have a book, AI in a Weekend. It's an ebook. You're welcome to pick that up on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, et cetera. And I'm also a LinkedIn message away. You can always, if you can't afford the book, I will gift it to you. So there you go. There's your action item.
That is Martin Miller. Martin, thank you so much for being with us today. Now, Lily, do you have an action item for us?
I'm a technologist. As I said, building an AI tool has never been so easy. So for everyone to experience it, build a bot over the weekend, and then solve one small problem in your life. Maybe is ordering groceries, maybe is keeping track of your homework, and then experience the whole flow and then see the magic behind it. And then that will land us in a much better place and help you in your career, in your life, in the next era of AI.
That is Lily Zhang, Vice President and Head of Engineering at Instacart. Lily, thank you so much for being with us today. Now, Kelly, do you have an action item for us?
Yeah, I would say not underestimate like the time saving benefit as well as the productivity gains. I think nowadays, especially with agents, there are a lot of talks about what business results it can bring you, like what's the positive ROI. But sometimes you need to save the time first to give yourself the mental space to actually innovate and to try something new, to say build a bot this weekend. You need an extra hour maybe you don't have right now, right? So using AI to like save the time first and then repurpose that time to do something different and new would be my 2 cents. Yeah.
That is Kelly Xu, Senior Industry Marketing Manager at Glean. Kelly, Lily, Martin, it has been great speaking with you today. Thank you, everyone. What a great panel. Your perspectives and advice were spot on, so thank you so much. I hope that we get a chance to talk again soon. And to everyone joining us today, thank you too. Look, we're going to be on summer hiatus, but join us again next time on September 30th after our hiatus with another great panel of guests discussing the topic of scaling AI tools in your key processes. It should be another great discussion. In the meantime, if you'd like to find me, you can do so on LinkedIn. I am happy to connect there. Check me out. I'm Kevin Crane. And you can check out my weekly audio podcast, the Digital Transformation Podcast. But for now, that'll do it for this episode of AI Talk. And until next time, I am Kevin Crane saying thank you for watching.